guys, it's Hunter, and today I'm coming at you with a book review of Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone. We follow a 16-year-old high school girl named Samantha. She is a swimmer. She is also part of a popular girls group at her high school called the Crazy Eights, and she also has crippling OCD and anxiety. I read the blurb on the back and I immediately thought, yes, I'm gonna buy it. I suffer from anxiety, and I also have really bad panic attacks. So I got home and I read this book, and because I feel like we're both so similar in certain ways, that's one thing that really pulled me into wanting to read this book. So I came home, I read a chapter, and immediately it follows Samantha having an anxiety attack or having a panic attack. And you see what she goes through emotionally, you see what she goes through physically, you see what she goes through mentally. You know, her girl group is in her room and they're doing something for Valentine's Day with roses, and they're cutting the rose stems, and it's her turn to cut, and she has the scissors in her hands, and all of a sudden, like, her palms get sweaty, and she thinks, what would happen if I took these scissors and cut this girl's hair? The impulsive thoughts that are induced by her OCD and her anxiety. So she goes downstairs, she's shaking, she's nervous, she's, not able to focus. Her mother sees what's happening and she sets her down. She says, okay, you know that you don't want to do this. You know that you don't want to do these things with the scissors. It's just in your mind. And Samantha says, yes, I know it's in my mind, but because it's such a big thing, her OCD induced these thoughts that she's having override the logical side of her brain. And so as soon as I read that, I just immediately said, like, yes, I want more of this book, because like Samantha, I also go through these moments where I'll have a really bad anxiety or panic attack, and those thoughts will go through my mind, and it can be so difficult, and you can feel so small, and so you can be surrounded by darkness just really quickly. It's a very scary thing sometimes. And so when I read that she was going through this, I immediately thought, yes, I want to continue reading this book. She's a high school girl. She is part of a popular girl group called the Crazy Eights. Samantha is trying to separate her school life from her OCD. So no one in the girl group that she's in knows that she has OCD and knows that she's struggling with all of these thoughts that come up every day, every hour, every second, every minute. So it's a struggle for her. And her friends, they don't really understand what she's going through, and they say, I'm sorry, I'm here for you. But there's an underlying tone of, okay, Samantha, you're weird. We don't want to deal with you when you're like this. So off the bat, you know that she's a part of a group that is toxic. And because she has anxiety, she doesn't want to let them down. So she continues to be in the group, and she continues to socialize with them when there's a part of her that is telling her that this is not healthy. So one day she meets a girl named Caroline, and this girl is the complete opposite of Samantha. She's not very well groomed. She is wearing a plaid sweater, and she's wearing a grungy outfit. Her hair's unkept. Samantha immediately says, I want to work on her. Caroline introduces Samantha to the Poets Corner, which is a secret organization, a secret room inside the school, where Samantha soon meets a bunch of artistic misfit students like herself, that are also dealing with personal things in their life, that the only way that they feel that they can share it is through art, whether it be poems, whether it be music. And it's a place where they feel not judged, they feel not criticized by their words or by who they are as students, as people. So Samantha begins writing, just writing whatever pops into her head. We see her go to her therapist's office. Her therapist is a very lovely woman who understands what Samantha is going through. her journey. She wants to help her. And she gave her, in the beginning, she gave Sam 3 journals. She gave Sam a blue journal for her sad thoughts, a yellow journal for her happy thoughts, and a red journal for her angry thoughts when she's feeling angry. So during the course of the book, Samantha she starts bringing the notebooks with her everywhere she goes. And depending on her mood, she will choose the notebook and she will write stuff in it, whether it be her happy journal, her angry journal, or her sad journal. So along the way, she reflects on relationships she's been in. She's reflected on this one child who her and the Crazy Eights used to mock in kindergarten, called AJ. He used to have a stutter. Well, AJ is still a student at Samantha's school, and he is actually a part of the Poets Corner. He is a guitarist, and when he was younger, he used to have a stutter that, again, Samantha and her group would make fun of, so he had to actually transfer to another school because of the bullying. So Samantha is just heartbroken that she would do something like this to someone like AJ, and so she's just fiercely apologizing. And he says, it's okay, but we just can't be friends. And so she's trying so hard. She wants to tell him that she understands what being an outcast is, and she wants him to understand, her world. But in order to do that, she has to open up about her OCD, which is something that she is very against. It's a very hard line for her to cross. So as the story goes on, Caroline and Samantha regularly meet in the theater, and Caroline helps Samantha with her poetry, and she helps her critique it, and she talks to Sam, and Sam really feels that Caroline is someone that she can confide in and she can speak to about what's going on in her life. Caroline uses a metaphor of baseball to Samantha. She says, when you're in the cage and you have the bat ready and the machine is just coming at you with baseballs and you don't really have time to react. You don't have time to watch each ball as you hit it because you have to constantly be thinking of the next hit, the next step. And Samantha says, "You're saying my thoughts are like baseballs." Her lips curl up in a satisfied grin. Exactly. And you, my friend, stand there in a batting cage and let those balls smack you in the head over and over again. But you don't have to. She taps her finger against her temple. You have a perfectly good bat. Samantha says, I have a broken bat. And Caroline says, it'll do. So I love that metaphor so much because Caroline is basically telling Samantha, you need to take it. There are times where your brain is not going to want to play catch up and you're going to want to watch, you're going to want to look at every little thing a certain way. You're going to want to overanalyze and you're going to want to overthink. But you have the ability, regardless, your brain may not be perfect, but you have the power to be able to think clearly, and you have the power to be able to see clearly. And I think when Caroline gives Samantha that metaphor, it really opens up to Samantha that, my brain may not be perfect, but it's perfect for me because it lets me see things in a different perspective. And I think it goes so great because Samantha's therapist says, Caroline is who you want to be. You want to be able to move past your mental illness. You want to be able to rise against it, and you want to be able to be normal. And that's what Caroline helped you do. That's what she is doing for you. She's helping you. And when Samantha realizes that, again, with what Caroline said, it really paralleled into each other. And so Samantha really understood, okay, everyone's brain is different. I think Samantha's therapist gave an example of one of her clients who, I think something happened, I can't remember, but his brain were sending mixed signals, and he claimed that he could taste the color purple, and he could see, certain emotions. I can't remember what it was, but I thought it was so beautifully told that because he has this, he can see things in a way that no one else can. His brain is so special, and he has the gift to, again, be able to see things in a different light than everyone else. And Samantha's therapist, Sue, tells Samantha the exact same thing. Your brain is not perfect, but it's perfect for you, and you have this great gift to be able to see things differently and to comprehend things differently than everyone does. We find out that Caroline actually committed suicide years ago, and Samantha is seeing Caroline's ghost because it's almost like a coping mechanism for her. And everything that has been done in the past with Caroline is really just, Caroline is helping Sam move on, and she's helping Sam realize, again, what Sue was mentioning to Samantha, that you can do this regardless of your mental illness. And we see something in Samantha that just blooms and opens up. And in the last few pages of the book, she's able to go to the Crazy Eights and is able to say, we were different when we were kids, but we need to change, and change is good. And so she's able to make that beautiful speech that, I need to find my own happiness, and I need to find my own safety. And I think with the Crazy Eights, that had passed, and now she's moving on to AJ and all of the beautiful friends she met at the Poets Corner. And I think that that ending was so impactful and so beautiful, because she learned how to overcome, and she learned how to cope with what she has and not blame herself for everything. And she's able to tell herself that it's okay. And I think that's the most beautiful thing a book could ever do. So, Every Last Word by Tamara Irelandstone is a very well written and very confrontational piece of literature. Again, I really think it transported me back to my own high school years and how difficult it was. I mean, when you're not the popular girl and you don't fit in, it can be really hard. So I really resonated with Samantha's character, and also on top of that, she has, this crippling OCD and anxiety that she understands, and she deals with every single day. And I think it really just, I honestly can't say enough about this book. I mean, if, again, like I said, if you want something emotional, if you want something heartbreaking, if you want a very refreshing outlook, and something that does happen in high schools today, kids dealing with mental illness, then this is a book that I really recommend, because I feel like mental illness is very stigmatized and it needs to be talked about. And I believe that this author has done that. It doesn't go as deeply as you would think it would, like if you're reading a psychological thriller. I'm not saying that, but with the depth it does go, it's very impactful. And I mean, this was a really great read, and I'm very happy I read it, and I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. And again, if you're gonna pick up a book, I would recommend picking Every Last Word up. So thank you guys for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day.